Welcome back, everybody. Last episode, we talked about the last pope, the final pope, or the last papa. In this episode, we're kind of going to continue it a little bit with the dudes. We're going to skim over the secret archives and hidden relics, missing people, and the dark secrets of the Vatican. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Paranormal Dudes podcast, episode 45. Welcome back to the show. Everybody's here, and we actually have someone that has graced us with his beautiful presence. Welcome back, Michael.
Hello, hello. Back. It's good to be back.
Young
it's
sir.
Good to be back.
Young sir, welcome back. That's enough. Welcome back. And, ¿qué huele México? Buenas noches. Aquí estamos con episodio 45. A continuar. Ethan didn't do it. Ethan's not into the episode. He didn't do it.
I'm listening to you.
Oh, okay.
I got him, bro. 45.
Let's see how long we can keep Ethan's attention on this episode. Let's see how gripping it is for him. So yeah, little here and there, but it was we had a crazy week as far as the last episode. Some people may have not liked it, and some did. If you did like it, thank you. If you didn't like it,
thank you.
I want to say something, but I'm not going to. But thank you as well. But moving on, did anything happen to anybody from the last time we spoke? And this includes you, Michael, from the last time you were on the show. Anything spooky happen to you? No. Okay.
I don't have anything spooky, but like I was talking to you guys throughout the week. I know we talked about Pacheco Pass a couple episodes ago. I actually drove through there. And I can see why. You know, it's a road like that. There's bodies of water, rocks, and a bunch of places to unalive yourself and stuff like that. So yeah, it was interesting to know the backstory about it and drive through there 2 times. So that's probably
there and back, right?
Yeah,
but you didn't experience any. You didn't experience anything though, right?
No, I mean it's just weird, knowing
like weird
the story,
feeling.
and there is a lot of like crosses and like roses, or not roses, like plants and stuff where people have unfortunately passed. But yeah,
it makes sense. Ethan, you got anything? Did anything happen spooky
nothing to me.
In the VR world while you're in there? Nothing spooky in there? No? Okay.
You got touched. I actually do have some.
Oh my god.
I actually do have something. It was a while ago though.
What you?
In my mom's room, there is an entrance to the attic where it's just like a wood floor panel on the ceiling, and just randomly decided to open. Like my mom looked up and it was just open, and she's like, "Oh, I think it was the wind." But I was like, "Ma, we've had stronger winds before, and it's never moved." And I had to sit it back in place. When I picked it up, it was a pretty heavy board, and like it sits in and it's surrounded by wood, so it can't even slide. You had to pick it up and then move it.
The heck? Okay.
It was just open. I was just like, "Oh, that's fun," and I just closed it, and nothing else has happened.
To be fair, that house. That house is. I've experienced certain things in that house, so it makes total sense. Thank you for that story, Michael. Jesse, I'm not even going to ask you because that's like walk of life for you. You walk outside and you just feel it, or you're in your house and you feel it. I'm sure, or I'm sure you see anything in our four squares or our backgrounds or anything like that?
I'm very low energy right now, but I am picking something up for Michael's.
You want to know what's funny is that before Michael rejoined the show, he's like, I don't know if I want to get back on because stuff always happens to me. And what if Jessie sees something? Coincidentally, she saw something. So this is great. This is great for
We're 8 minutes in, guys. We're 8 minutes in.
We're only 8 minutes in, and stuff is already happening. It's amazing. What is it that you see, Jessie? Please.
She's low energy. She can't see.
If you can, because you're low energy right now.
Low energy. She can't see.
Low energy today. I just sent something. It's actually something. I don't even know what is that, like the neighbor's house in that window.
Yes.
Okay, so then it's at the neighbor's house.
Huh. Yeah, stay outside, please.
At the neighbor's house, looking at you, trying to get into your house. Not just kidding.
I'm gonna close my
He's trying
blinds.
to leave the neighbor house and come to you. Definitely. Oh, thank you for that, for assessing our backgrounds, Jess. It means a lot. But like I said at the beginning of the show, we have a doozy tonight. We're continuing our tirade. I want to say tirade because it hasn't upset that many people. It upset some people of the Vatican. You know, the last episode we talked about the prophecy of the popes or the final pope. Michael, I don't know if you saw anything for the show last week, whether it was a short or promotional or.
I saw the shorts.
Okay. Well, last week we spoke about that, and it was a pretty crazy episode. I felt heavy after. I don't know. I don't know what it was. After we were done with the show, I try to decompress because usually we do get into topics, and you kind of feel this like it's probably a microscopic feeling of what Jessie feels every day with all her clairvoyance, and I think it's like a microscopic feeling of that after every show because we get so deep into conversations about the paranormal. And I don't know what it is with this topic, for me at least. So in the paranormal world, one section of the paranormal world creeps me out more than any of them. And I know I've mentioned anything that has to do with natives or voodoo. I just can't do those, or Santeria. But one thing goes even deeper than that, and that's demons. I cannot. Demons are super scary to me. I don't know about you guys, how you guys feel about demons, but and especially when the topic we had last week was very much on the cusp of going through that. And I feel like this episode that we're going to get into now is going to ride that line or probably pass that line even further. And I'm sure I'll have a similar experience once the show's over. Us having these conversations, because we're such strong believers, I really do believe that it has an effect on us in some way or another. And it does have an effect on me. Do you guys ever feel like that after a pod whenever we film?
Oh yeah, I mean, even like when we first jumped on, like it was like we would stay on after until we got into the room or something because you just felt like there was something there.
One thing I've realized is every time the camera is rolling, I guess you could say, I always get this feeling like if someone's behind me, I just
like you're being watched.
I always feel like I'm being watched. But as soon as we're done and the pod's over and we're even talking, after I feel myself calming down finally. I don't know why.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely did feel that way last week when we were done discussing everything, and especially because I was going over everything. I don't know. It was just something. It's unexplainable to kind of dissect what it is that I was feeling. Ethan, did you feel anything?
Not really, but the weird part though is after we had the podcast, I was on like TikTok and stuff, and like conspiracies of what we were talking, and I hadn't liked anything at all. Like,
It wasn't part of your algorithm.
no,
Yeah.
it wasn't at all, like whatsoever. And then out of nowhere, I started seeing like, I think one was about the end of times, because it's the last pope and this and that. And when I first saw that one, I was like, that's weird. So then like I didn't like it on purpose. I knew if I liked it, it would just be, my algorithm would be fiddled with
Yeah,
it.
it would just get flooded.
But
with
for
that.
some reason, that's all it was for like the whole day, and then it stopped.
Yeah, that's crazy you say that, because then I saw like there was a documentary. Because when you flip on my TV, the TV I have, it has like a UI of different things that you could look at, and one of the first things was about Pope Francis, and I'm just like, oh man, okay. I don't know. I at the same time, it doesn't matter what denomination it is. I really try to be respectful to any denomination. It doesn't matter what it is, and uh, I tried my best to do the same in this past episode, and I hope we're going to continue that thread, because I don't know. It's more of a spiritual thing, and I don't know. I don't want to invoke any negative entity to any of us here or anybody watching. That's always my fear, I guess I should say. But then I'll get a slew of a bunch of eye rolls from Jesse. Then I just like, okay, I'm fine. Like everything's okay. So without further ado, Oscar, you have the floor.
All right. So, I mean, we're going to jump back on this same topic that we were, right? A little bit different, a little different side of, you know, last episode, but the Vatican's darkest conspiracies is what we're going to be talking about today. And if anybody that's watching, you don't know what this is, definitely, you can always do your research a little bit, but we're going to talk about a lot of things here today. And I know that the archives, right, which is going to be our first topic, what we're going to talk about, right? And the archives, if you don't know what the archives are, for those of you watching, is pretty much um, like a Google Drive, right? Like a private Google Drive, but very medieval, right? From those times. And these are things that are not open to everybody. They're not just publicly published out there for everyone to see and know about, because I feel like if they were, it would cause a lot of chaos. It would cause a lot of conflict, cause a lot of different things, confusion, all that different stuff. And everybody knows when there's confusion, that's when things go crazy. And it's literally like off limits to almost everybody except those within, I'm sure.
Are there any at least any theories behind what's hidden in the archives?
Sorry, my phone just started talking to me.
Oh no, it's
Like,
already starting, dude.
What the heck, dude?
Oh, Jesse knows something.
Look at Jesse's face.
Yeah, Jesse's smart. She knows something. She knows something.
Anyways,
Oh,
I'm just reading what's here on the screen. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Before I was disrupted by whatever was here. Appreciate it. You can watch the show while it's going on. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the Vatican Secret Archives, right? Like I said, it's like these files, right? And it's a lot of different things. Like Jesus' real story, right?
Right.
Lost civilizations, aliens, contact evidence, all that different stuff. But why do you guys think it's such, besides it like causing chaos, stuff like that, but why do you think it's so off limits? Like, why do you think it was hidden?
Because they have GTA 6 in there and they don't want to release it. I'm
I mean, it's 50 miles of shelves. That's crazy.
Really?
It says, 50 miles of
The
shelves.
archives? Okay.
12 centuries of documents.
Miles.
Like, what can be in 50 miles of shelves? Like,
Oh, there has to be all kinds of crazy stuff in
That's
there.
crazy.
Has to be. And you said it's not open to the public, right? Like that no
No,
one can
it's
just.
like it's pretty much off limits to like almost everybody.
Okay.
It's probably just the Vatican can only.
Well, yeah, obviously anybody that has access to it would. I'm sure there's a level of quote unquote clearance of people that could go in there and view this information.
Probably just the
I would
Cardinals.
love, probably. I guess. Well, we won't know until we pass into the afterlife. If some of us stay, depending on our denomination, if you stay within the realm of Earth, you'll be able to go over there and check out what they got in the archives because you're ghosts. So, but yeah, that's okay. It's pretty interesting. I never knew that personally.
Yeah, I mean, 50 miles. I'm already thinking about it. Like from here, from where I live to LA, it's about 10 miles. So just going 10 times, like, dude, there has to be things that,
Yeah, of
like,
course. I'm sure not all of it is documentation of you know 40 babies that got baptized. I'm sure there's papers. There's within the archives. There's documents of extraterrestrial things or paranormal things that aren't accessible to the rest of us. I'm sure, without a doubt.
yeah. And I don't know, maybe you guys know, or we can look it up real quick. Like, when was the first, or during what time? Like, when was all these Vatican files, like, created up until, because I don't know, when I think about things like this, um, I feel like a lot of the stuff that they have in these files may be things in the future, right? That haven't passed
Right.
and that will. And that's why they're so off limits to everybody. And I mean, just like a lot of things, even today, right, with technology, everybody says
Of
that
course.
we're publicly behind, but I know behind the scenes, there's a lot of things that
Yeah,
are
there's a
already
lot of
known.
moving parts. So I looked at it. So it wasn't formally established until 1784 by Pope Paul V. Um, and then, but it says the main collection of papal letters and bureaucratic records began around 1205. So that's when it generally started, generally speaking. And then access to the archives was initially limited due to concerns about potentially negative use by Protestant scholars, but was open to scholars in 1881 by Pope Leo X.
1881. That's like not that long ago. Like, if you
No,
really think about
it's
it,
not.
that's like
No,
100,
it's not.
but
It's
120, 130,
no, for sure,
150.
for sure. But that's what I found.
Yeah. Okay. That makes everything interesting. But yeah, I mean, the biggest things, it's like these, just different theories of what's been hidden. And we'll jump into the first one that we're going to talk about today, which is the disappearance of the Vatican girl.
Ooh,
And
okay.
her name was Emanuela Orlandi, little tongue twister there. And she was a 15-year-old Vatican citizen who just disappeared. Um, they said that there's mafian ties. Obviously, the Vatican, there's cover-ups. And I feel like anytime there's something like that and there's ties to mafia, there's always going to be
Oh yeah,
that backstory, right?
of course.
And years or decades later, Pope Francis starts to make comments, cryptic comments about this. But
What?
what do you guys think happened to this girl?
That's wild. So, okay, is there any correlation with the mafia and Emanuela, or is it just a one-off of Emanuela?
It says it believed Emanuela was a victim of sexual exploitation by clergy, and the theory was she was kidnapped to silence her.
Oh
And the
wow.
Vatican suppressed evidence and remained silent for decades. And then the second one is it has top five. She was held by the mafia and kidnapped to pressure the Vatican Bank to repay money it owed to the collapse of Banco Ambrosiano.
Whoa.
A
Okay.
gangster's girlfriend later claimed Emanuela was held as leverage in his financial power play, and the third is she was buried there. In 2018, her family received an anonymous letter telling them to look where the angels point, referencing a statue of, I can't say that name, in the Vatican City. The Vatican opened graves, but they were empty, but no remains of any kind. In 2019, investigators found human bones near the Vatican embassy in Rome, but they were still not able to
Confirming that it was her.
confirm it was her.
Oh, okay. I mean, so potentially there could be a tie. There could be a tie between the mafia and this and Emanuela. That's crazy. I mean, obviously, I didn't know this story. I'm sure there's a lot of stories that you're going to go over that I'm not familiar with that are, dark secrets in the Vatican. I, honestly, if it ruffles your feathers and you're watching this, sorry, but at the same time, we have to talk about these things. We have to. We have to shed light on these types of things, and it's a part of our. It's a part of the paranormal community because of certain things that tie into these stories. But yeah, that's a
The
crazy one.
Netflix docu-series too.
Oh wow, really?
Oh,
Okay,
wow. Okay.
The
okay.
Vatican Girl.
Definitely gonna have to watch that. I
I
would love
loved
to
Netflix
know more about
documentaries.
what the story is and how
Yeah, I
everything
would. I
happened.
would love to too, as well.
Yeah, and I mean, hearing it like what Jesse kind of just talked about the little story there. I feel like a lot of that, unfortunately, today is, I don't want to say normal, right? But it
Yeah,
happens all the time, you know,
yeah.
and it kind of sucks. But um, them being a part of covering it up is what makes this a lot more juicier.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure. I agree. I agree.
let's see. So we have,
That was one of the theories
yeah,
or stories behind it, right?
yeah. So this was one of the theories of the pretty much the archives, the secret archives there. And we have some other different ones like hidden relics and forbidden artifacts,
Okay.
which are like powerful objects that are held by the Vatican. So I'm gonna excite Ethan a little bit here because I feel like we can kind of connect it to like the Conjuring House.
Oh God.
I was gonna say freaking exorcism artifact.
I know.
I
Yeah.
have Ed and
So
Lorraine in there. Ethan.
Oh, what people don't know is that L.U.C.I.F.E.R and Warren worked really closely with the Vatican, so I wouldn't doubt they have things there at in the vault or
5,000 likes and we'll send Ethan to the Vatican.
5,000 likes. We will send him there, whether he lives or not. That's up to him. I'm just kidding.
oh my god. No, but seriously, I would definitely go for a video to Ed and Lorraine Warren's occult
Yeah, you said
museum.
it like 5 times, or we know you
I'm
would.
just saying
we got the one like that you
the
were
one
Yeah,
asking
we
like.
for.
got the one
So
like that you said that you needed to go
No,
out
I
there.
needed the one view.
the one view, there it
The
is.
one view. So,
Yeah,
okay. So, missing girls, secret libraries. Um, let's get into some legendary loot for all you uh, Gen Zers out there. You loot,
for real.
loot
Some loot.
gremlins and stuff. I
Yeah.
almost cuss, but I didn't cuss. See,
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of like, and maybe we can kind of go through each of these, like the Holy Grail or like the Ark of
right?
the Covenant, the Spear of Destiny. Some of
Spear
these
of
I've heard
Destiny.
before.
Right, because they're part of the Tom Hanks movies, Angels and Demons, Inferno. I think there's three, right? There's three movies. Oh, duh! And the first one, the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah,
Yeah, yes.
that one. I think a long time ago, I used to play this game called Constantine. I don't know if you guys remember that
Yeah,
game.
Constantine too. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Constantine.
as well.
Actually, Constantine is a comic book. At Hellblazer. Yeah.
Yeah, that game was cool. And some of these things that are in there, like these artifacts, are like the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant, the Spear of Destiny, and just like you said, they've been in different movies, and that's probably why we're kind of familiar with them. And
Right.
they said that if they were to be revealed, that it would shake the world, global religion, right, and the structures that they hold, right. So they're pretty much being held and suppressed, hidden to maintain their own religious authority. So if anybody that's watching doesn't know how those look, some of these I don't know if you guys do. Um, but we're gonna go put up some
I
pictures
think
right now.
Michael's gonna pull it up right now.
I
Yeah,
have.
Michael's gonna.
I just share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what these look like.
Ark of the Covenant,
The
also known as the Ark of God or the Ark of the Testimony. It is a sacred religious chest and relic held by the Israelites. It's described as a gold-plated acacia chest containing the tablets of the law. Oh, okay. The Ten Commandments.
Ten
Okay.
Commandments.
okay.
Got it now.
It is
And then one of the other ones was the Spear of Destiny.
the Spirit of Destiny.
Yeah,
The Spirit of Destiny can refer to a few concepts, including the Spirit of Destiny, also known as the Holy Lance, and broader idea of the person's spiritual or predetermined path. The Spear of Destiny is a legendary artifact believed to have pierced Jesus Christ during his crucifixion and has been associated with immense power and historical significance.
So in pop culture, if anybody's interested in what the Spear of Destiny is, you could go back to Keanu Reeves' 2005 movie Constantine, which is also a comic book. They featured the Spear of Destiny in that movie. It was actually one of the main artifacts in the movie that kind of drove the plot. So you could go back and look at that. Go ahead, Michael.
And this is the other artifact that Oscar mentioned
The Holy
is
Grail?
the
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
Grail. The Holy
Right.
Grail is a legendary sacred cup traditionally believed to be the cup Jesus used used at the Last Supper,
At the
and the
Last
one
Supper.
Joseph and Arrhythmia used to collect Jesus' blood at the crucifixion.
So Oscar, uh, it, so this particular, I want to say this particular artifact I'm very familiar with. I think a lot of us are on here. A lot of people probably watching are. The very first time I ever heard of the Holy Grail was Monty Python. I don't know if you guys know what Monty Python is. I don't know if you guys are that much of a nerd like myself, but that's where I remember it from. So essentially, so okay, based on Tom Hanks and the Da Vinci Code and all that stuff, um, these types of relics, or forbidden artifacts, were in different places of the world. Um, from your findings, Oscar, it seems like the Vatican's kind of keeping these secret in some way, right?
Yeah, and and I under and I would understand the reason why, as far as like trying to keep them as in the condition and as if they are as since when they were used. But I feel
Right,
like there's a little bit more to that, like
right.
than just keeping it in a good condition. And like I mean, the Spear of Destiny, I think that's the one that kind of pops out to me the most out of
Mm.
these three. Um, just because like the story behind it, like it was literally used to
Stab Christ,
stab
right?
Christ.
Just yeah, try to like really like digest that in your brain, what that really is and what that relic is supposed to mean. And I don't know, would you, obviously because of my jokey nature, a lot of jokes were flowing through my brain, and we're like, what are they using this thing as, like a letter opener, or just kicking it somewhere, or like is it really dug deep into? I want to believe under the Vatican there's like catacombs or like just layers and layers of just like the archives, because you said the archive is 10 miles long, right? Is that what it was? I get there. I remember that correctly.
50 miles.
50
50.
miles, so even more. And if they have that kind of thing under the Vatican, you can only imagine how far deep the Vatican goes as far as, whatever artifacts they have or whatever it is that they collect that are under the Vatican. So that's even more um, enticing to think that alone. And I'm sure we would be able to go down, because I don't want to stop you here because you have other things to go over. I'm sure that specific topic on its own is a pod episode alone, because of the amount of things that are probably hiding there, or discussing, you know, where they're hiding it, what they're doing with it, and who knows at this point.
According to the internet, the only one that is in the cathedral is the Holy Grail. That's what
Oh,
the
okay.
only thing that says. And the Spirit of Destiny is located in at the Imperial Treasury of the Hofburg Palace in Vienna, Austria.
Okay.
And the Ark of the
Okay.
Covenant, this is the one that's only not for certain. It is said
Mhm.
that the Ethiopian Orthodox, I'm not even going to attempt that word, church claims to possess the Ark of the Covenant. They
Oh,
claim to
okay.
possess it, but they never.
Claim. Okay. Okay.
They claim.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up, Michael. But yeah, that's crazy. Boss,
So
go ahead and
different. So
continue.
different. These artifacts are around the world in different places or different cathedrals, different thing. Like, why do you guys think? I mean, aside from it being something that was used, to hold, what was it, Jesus's blood, right? The Holy
Right.
Grail, or you know, to spear Christ, all these different things. Like,
Right.
why would they want to hold these things? Like, is it a form of power in that
Maybe. I mean,
space?
it's possible that it might have uh, some elements of power to them, not necessarily in the human. I'm coming at this in a paranormal view, not necessarily
Mhm.
in a human view of, oh, he has this artifact, he's got all the power, he's going to lead, this group of people. It's more of, I think there's more to it than that. I think these artifacts have um, so much more elements towards it, connected to it, as far as the paranormal goes. I don't know if it has anything to do with some kind of entity, some previous previous people that were in the Vatican that could be attached to it. Who knows? Just, I mean, put it into perspective. We've had this conversation before about someone was asking. I think it was someone in our audience, or a listener of ours, I should say, about relics, or just, I want to say, items in general, and why. I think Ethan brought it up, where people were questioning, how is it that things are attached to items, or spirits or entities are attached to items, and they just destroy it. um who's to say that if an Annabelle doll, or I should say the Raggedy Ann doll, if that thing gets attached by a demon, why can't any other object, like the Ark of the Covenant, or the Spear of Destiny, or the Holy Grail? I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know. I mean, if I ever get my hands on them, I'll let you know.
I feel like that's the
They're
exact
cursed.
reason why they keep them safe.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're supposed to be
good call.
cursed.
There you go. There you go.
Oh.
Ethan, do
I
you have anything to
wonder.
say,
Or
or
to
you
keep
still
them
writing
safe
your
from being
memoir?
cursed.
I
That could
wonder
be
how
Right.
it
that too.
feels to
Some of
hold.
them have even been moved secretly every few decades to
Really?
not cause craziness in different. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay,
Because,
makes sense.
oh, you go,
Have you
Ethan?
guys? I don't know if this is on here or not because I haven't really looked far deep into the thing. But What if another reason why they don't allow anyone down there have because of the artifacts and stuff? But what if it's like super demonic? Like, what if it's like super like devil stuff, like things that we're
Possible.
not supposed to see, or like
I mean, really, really quantify it. Really think about it. The Spear of Destiny, like how? Okay, you could say an armorer gave that the spearhead to Pontius Pilate, but who was the armorer and like who made it? I should say, who blacksmithed it? You could definitely say it's a possibility. What if Lucifer or any kind of demon put anything on it, or because they knew that this was gonna pierce Christ. So who knows? I mean, it's possible, Ethan. There's a lot of things that are that could be a possibility. But like Jesse said, all three of these items are known to be cursed within the paranormal community. Is that correct, Jess?
Yeah, like the spear, it holds immense power to whoever has it, and it's the conspiracy is that they hide it, that they have the real one hidden.
Okay.
That they have the real one hidden. They just put one out that looks kind of like
That looks
A
like it.
replica.
like if it's the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that the conspiracy is that they use it to influence global politics.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that makes.
Weird, right?
Yeah, that's strange. Not strange, and it would make sense as well.
Right.
But if it was a cursed item, why would they keep it in their own? Like, for instance, if it's a cursed item, that if the spirit could be unleashed from this item, why would they want it at their holy place? Wouldn't they want to keep it holy? They would put it
but
in
it's
a black
but
site,
it's
basically.
blessed.
It's blessed.
It's blessed.
That's why. Yeah.
And I'm sure they have to bless it every other day or every
so
they
often.
have their rituals.
Yeah, for sure. Crazy. That's crazy.
It's like, isn't that what they do with like the Mona Lisa too? It's not really the real one.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine
Yeah.
if these were like the actual real items that were out there. Like, I would love to see any stories of people
Who
trying
would
to steal
steal
these things.
them?
Who would steal them? Nicolas Cage, of course.
oh my god. Well, for one,
National
I think
Indiana
treasure.
Jones.
if anything, if the Vatican had any satanic stuff, like satanic worshippers for sure, and try to conjure.
Oh,
some
for
shit.
sure. Yeah,
There
I'm
definitely
sure.
is satanic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there. Okay, it goes without saying in our society, like it doesn't matter where, when, or however it is, there are always going to be evil people in every community, every walks of life. No community in the world we live in is pure and is good or have good intentions. There's always going to be evil people, always.
In some sort of way.
Yeah, in some sort of way. It sucks, but that's the reality we live in. Unfortunately.
Like, because if you're able to influence political stuff with an object that is not physically there where these things are happening, like I can't even as a human comprehend this power. It's like
Right.
the fourth dimension to me. Like, I don't.
And
I
that's
know exactly what you mean.
what I was gonna say. Like that has to do with like levels
I'm sure, yeah.
of dimension and thought, like how powerful your brain is, right? That you can actually, and then also, right, it's religious, so it's like meditation and like being able to take your mind there.
Do you think any random person, not random person, but let's say any person can access this power, or you would have to be like,
I don't think I think this power can only be accessed by like and I hate using this because it's weird to say it when it comes to something like the Vatican, but clearance levels or like, people are all certain people are only allowed into whatever room they have or, dungeon or cave or whatever it is that wherever they have these relics. There's only certain people that could go in there with Vatican clearance. It's wild to think all that. Like how okay, now imagine. So theoretically, we already outlined that supposedly these relics, the ones that are on display, or the people that say that they have it or whatever, those are only replicas, and in reality, the real ones are hidden. So imagine the energy and the craziness that's happening around these artifacts or relics, and what happens to those people that are unaware of these items in that area, and what they experience. I can only imagine. Imagine Jesse around those three things. Oh my
I'm
god.
I'm like reading other relics that are like hidden that they don't ever even talk about, and it's weird stuff. Like I don't want to say witchcraft, but like the bleeding skull of a possessed nun. Like, why would you display that?
What the heck?
It says legend says a nun was possessed for 17 years, and after death, her skull bled spontaneously during an exorcism. Is believed to be a gateway to denom, demonic
Demonic.
influence,
Uh-huh.
and the Vatican keeps it sealed box under spiritual watch.
So now that you say that, so Michael asked, why would they keep that? So think it, and Ethan's gonna love this connection. There's correlation between that to answer Michael's question about why they keep it. So think of it in terms of the Warrens. So they kept all of those artifacts, or I should say items in general, that were at some time possessed, or they an entity was attached to them. So yes, there are theories that the Vatican may use some of these relics for power, but just think of it as in a societal way. Why would you want something that's so possessed just to be out there? Think of it how the Warrens think of it, where they'd rather have all of that energy or that paranormal activity within their museum, and it be closed off by spells or protection spells, I should say. And what if the Vatican's doing the same thing? What if they have all these items, and they just have them to have them, so that it doesn't get in the wrong hands, or nothing malicious or evil happens to anyone.
Maybe they just want power.
It could be a combination of both, just because I'm not going to sit here and say that every person in the Vatican is power hungry like that, because like I said earlier, every community has different types of people. Period. Uh, Whether people want to believe that or not, that's on them. But I want to believe at the same time there's things in the Vatican that they don't want out in the public, and they do want to protect people. I'm sure there's levels to it, like you mentioned. There's onion, like an onion. There's different layers. Maybe there are uh, some items that are used for the wrong reasons, whether it be power or anything like that. But I want to believe that some of the items they do have there, uh, they just don't want out in the world because of how cursed they may be.
Or it could be the other way around. They don't want them to be cursed, so they protect them because it's sacred to
Yeah.
them.
There's a picture of that devil's Bible. It's really weird.
The
Ooh.
Devil's Bible, I'm actually very familiar with that. Actually I've seen videos and pictures of what it would look like, or I don't remember fully, so don't quote me on that. It's just I know that there's a lot of murmurs about the Devil's Bible, and there's there's been like replications of it. I think Ethan has seen it as well, where we've seen videos or documentaries of people that have like iterations of it, which is crazy within itself. Yeah, I don't want to ramble on any further. I'm going to let us continue.
Speaking of the Devil's Bible, I think this is a good segue into the next topic.
Okay.
Just because Lucifer is the name of this telescope that the Vatican owns, and it's in the
Right.
state of Arizona. Now,
Oh, Arizona.
Aside from
Okay.
a bunch of other things about Arizona, it just adds on to that. Um, but why would the church, right, the Vatican, why would they own something like this, name it that, and want to look at what's in the skies? Right.
Right.
This is tied together with the whole alien theory, right? And today there's been many declassified files already of what aliens are and that they
Yeah.
exist. Um, but just the whole, I mean, the name, them owning it, like obviously there's going to be a lot more in those other archives that we don't have access
Right.
to, and maybe a lot of that, or do you guys think maybe that a lot of that stuff that they're observing in the skies is in those files and can be
It's
possible other life?
it's possible. But you know what? I think. Okay. This is what I think. And by digesting what you just said, so this kind of goes back to the the witch trials. You know how we outline in the witch trials of Connecticut that they really didn't understand the whole witchcraft thing, so they just kind of started unaliving a bunch of
There was
women
multiple books
or
too.
people.
No one. There was no really rule set on like how you could be a witch or like defined as a
Right.
witch. There was multiple
Of course.
books. Like
Yep.
one book you could say, oh, if you lift the pitchfork, you could be a witch. And another book it doesn't say that. Like
Right.
it was all
Of
different.
course. So and it goes back to that I think they may have called it the Lucifer telescope because of the capabilities that it can accomplish. So, and not knowing anything of it, so they just named it that.
Mm.
Same concept. They didn't understand the whole witchcraft thing, so they started unaliving them. I'm not saying they unalive people with the telescope. I have no idea. Um, but it wouldn't be far fetched to say that they named it that because of the properties and what it is, the capabilities that it has. And that's just my theory. What I think.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of things, um, like that's kind of like the process of what happens to a lot of things in the past. And you
Mhm.
fast forward today, like there's a lot of illnesses back then that were named certain things. Now they're studied. We know exactly what they are, and it's just because of that uncertainty. That we're just, hey, like Michael was saying, like, oh, because you look like that, you're a witch, and it's like time passes on. No, you're not. So I think, I mean, that's a really good point. Is there any like, is this telescope even accessible?
I actually looked it up. I don't know if you pulled it up before I did, Michael. Um, but the so it's a large binocular telescope. That's what it really is. So as it reads here, the Lucifer, and this is just right off of Wikipedia, real quick, is an optical telescope for astronomy located on a 10,700 foot on Mount Graham in the I hope I'm not butchering this, Pinaleno Mountains of southeastern Arizona, United States. It is a part of the Mount Graham International Observatory. So, to answer your question, Oscar, yes, it is.
So that's wild. Um,
10,000 likes and we'll send Oscars.
We'll send Oscar out there to
dude,
figure it out. Ask some questions.
hold on. I
So
gotta.
I looked into to it a little further. So answeringgenesis.org, that's the citation for it. The question is, does the Vatican have a telescope called Lucifer? It says many people are surprised to learn that the Vatican even has an observatory. So it's actually theirs. The history of the Vatican Observatory goes back to 2.5 centuries. During its history, there has been some turmoil and several moves to escape the light and other hindrances that large cities such as Rome pose to doing astronomy. Therefore, more than half a century ago, the Vatican Observatory established a research group at the Steward Observatory of the University of Arizona in Tucson, while the Vatican Observatory headquarters remained in Italy. So this is, let me show you guys what this crazy thing looks like. Okay, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I just saw it right now. That is high tech for sure. I don't know if you're seeing this picture too, but it's actually an acronym,
Really?
Lucifer, and it supposedly stands for Large Binocular Telescope Near Infrared. That's the L.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah,
Utility with camera and integral field unit for extragalactic research.
that's crazy. Just to
That is
accomplish that,
crazy.
just to accomplish the the acronym. That's, oh my gosh, this is wild. Are you seeing how you got? Are you seeing? Can you guys see my screen? See what
Yeah.
this looks
Yeah.
like?
Click on the one with the guy looking into it so we can. That's crazy.
Oh, here's one with a priest. That's crazy, dude. Look at this thing.
So it claims that there's Vatican astronomers
Oh, okay.
that have already seen alien saviors, quote unquote, that are
Okay.
approaching and working on new technology, and that they're trying to baptize the aliens. So, new theology to reconcile the arrival of the extraterrestrials with Christian faith.
It's
The
crazy.
theology's theory report that they're preparing documents to baptize extraterrestrials that are coming. That's how they're keeping track of them through the scope.
Through the scope to see if they're preaching the word. Is that?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's crazy. And, whew, um, hey, dude, but like, really, really think about it. What if the Vatican really does pull a, like, an, to know that the script for Independence Day came from the Vatican? Like they're the ones that, you know, they got it from the the Lucifer alien, the alien Lucifer telescope. That'd be crazy.
Speaking of, like, I guess, movies and stuff like that, do you think any of the Simpsons stuff is connected to these Vatican
I
stuff?
think it could, possibly, dude. I
Like,
think
there has,
so.
it's like, you know what you said about earlier, like there's always good and bad in the certain communities.
Yeah,
Like, there
of
has
course.
to be some internal people that are like
Mhm.
leaking
Yeah, of
this
course.
stuff, right? And
Of
I've
course.
always thought that, like, when people, or like when 2012 movie came out, like, and let's say it happens, I don't know, in 2050, or like, whenever, they can never say we didn't tell you that it was not going to happen.
Yeah, it's true.
You just,
What do you think you would do though? Like remember what happened in the movie and try and like do what happened to save yourself?
yeah, I mean, I feel like, and this is something else that I recently was looking into. Supposedly they're making, or like when it comes to space, right? And now that we're talking about telescope space aliens, um, I mean, who knows? Like, with all these like moon landings and this and that, like, who really knows if they are already starting that civilization and they're just
Oh,
keeping
and
it
like
Pretty
from them?
sure
that.
they are.
Yeah,
I
like,
know they
and that
are.
transition's gonna come at some point. Is what you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when recently when we worked with the people from NASA, they did say that they were starting a voyage on these or doing certain programs where they were sending astronauts to like I can't say a lot of information, but the point of it is that they were on a specific planet and they were basically like making crops like planting crops and all this.
Mm.
So they found And it's a space program that they're going to have like eventually internships for, because they have identified a planet that's similar to us, and they're growing vegetables and all this
Oh, I see.
fruits.
What the
Okay.
heck?
Some interstellar
That's-
stuff.
Yeah,
5,000
right.
likes.
And I'll go to space
And I'll
like
go to
Katy Perry.
I'll
space.
join the internship program.
But you know what's funny? Like, before, I know we keep ranting, we need to get to the next topic, but one last thing I want to say. Like, all these
Don't say
agencies.
Ed and Lorraine.
No.
Yeah,
Like
please don't.
Ed and
No
Lorraine went to
Warrens.
space.
No. So, like, all these agencies, like NASA and all them, they must be like, if they find stuff, like, they must tell, like, especially if it's like aliens or anything like supernatural or whatever, even like the government or whatever, they must let the Vatican know, like, right away, like, hey, we found this is what we found, give them information, and then, like,
Yeah, I'm sure they. I mean, they don't. I wouldn't say it's like colluding. It's more of like, hey, guess we found this out. So
yeah.
you guys know.
A reporting
Well,
process.
like, one
Like a
thing that
totem
always
pole
creeps
of
me out.
letting people know, hey, we found this
Yeah, like a chain of
giant.
command type of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Like, one thing that always creeps me out is like the whole conspiracy theory of the ocean, how we only like explore like what I think like 10,
Yeah, of
15%
course.
of it.
Mhm.
And the fact that NASA, its true purpose at first was to explore the ocean, and then for some reason they're like,
They stopped.
we're gonna
We're
stick to
good.
space.
We're good.
Have you heard that like conspiracy that the ocean is really like that we're like upside down?
Yeah, I've heard
Mhm.
that one. I've heard that one. That one's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I went down an insane rabbit hole on that YouTube rabbit hole on that. That it's in reverse. Our space is actually the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like the deep sea one. The deep sea creatures that they find, those are aliens. It was crazy. It was
I
crazy.
mean,
I'm
they
like,
Well,
look
because they
like
look
them.
like aliens sometimes,
I mean,
though.
look at
Like they look
squids.
crazy.
yeah, it's true.
Like squids, octopus. I think octopus was like the one that was closely related to
Crazy,
an
weird looking
alien.
things.
But I mean, who knows, right? We'll find
Yeah,
out
who
whenever
knows?
they come through and do whatever they need to do. All I
We'll
know is
have a
I'll have my
baptism
tinfoil
or
head.
a baptism party.
Yeah,
2
baptism.
likes and Oscar will go deep sea diving all the way to the core of the earth.
To retrieve an alien.
Nah, something about open water like that just gives me like
Oh, no.
Don't even
Thank
get me
you.
started. Don't even get me
I hate
started.
that.
Don't.
No.
Don't get me
the
started on
unknown.
that.
Like it's just like right now, what is happening at the bottom of the ocean?
At this very moment, what is happening right now? There is an abundance of raw, carnal sex happening between all these animals.
Oh my god.
All right, so enough for the alien talk. Let's go ahead and jump back a little bit to more of the relics that the Vatican
Right.
has, you know, hidden or suppressed or, have hidden from the world. And, I have a list here of a couple of them, and a lot of them are really interesting. And we'll start off with the first one that is actually open because it's this year, 2025, but it's called the Holy Door. And what the
Hmm.
Holy Door is, it's the northernmost entrance of St. Peter's Basilia. It's a sacred door that is only open during the Jubilee years. And right now, the Jubilee years, my
Jubilee.
Google device again, but the current Jubilee is open for the 2025 Jubilee, and it's made of bronze and it has a religious significance. So let me know if you guys can see it.
Yeah, you see it.
All
So
right.
those are the doors.
So these are the doors here. This is how it looks like
Okay.
when it's closed. I don't know, man. Just like looking at this and like people going there and wanting to see this in person, like I don't know. It's kind of like what we talked about in the previous episode about there being
Mhm.
so much good, right?
Right.
Like I just feel like it attracts the opposite as well. But these are the holy doors. And that's number one. Another thing that they have is called the Devil's Stone, or
Mhm.
Lapis Diaboli, or the Devil's Stone, located in the Basilia of Saint Sabina. And the legend has it that Satan tried to distract Saint Dominic while he was praying in this church, and this stone is associated with darkness and the devil. And
Crazy.
let me show you guys what that looks like.
I thought it was gonna be smaller.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like handheld
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
That's so creepy.
turning of the Devil's Stone.
Why would you touch it?
Oh my gosh, why? So, needless to say, I'm sure there is uh an unimaginable number of relics in the Vatican, whether they be evil or cursed, um, or or good in nature. There's just a lot. Yeah, Oscar found that they're displaying Mary Magdalene's head, her skull at the Vatican,
Oh
which is
shit!
crazy to think.
Check this picture out.
Oh no. I mean,
Oh,
okay. Knowing a lot of people from different walks of life, and as far as religion goes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of people that are religious, especially in the Catholic denomination, um, they don't see it as creepy as we do because we're looking at it in the paranormal lens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're looking at it as something holy and spiritual to them, so it doesn't necessarily creep them out. For us, it's a different story because we're viewing it in the paranormal lens. It's a little unsettling to me,
Yeah,
personally.
it's
Um,
weird.
and that's
Like,
crazy
why
that they
would they
have that.
take a picture like that? And they're like wearing like white gloves.
yeah. Oh, look.
Well,
So it's
the white
not.
gloves is to not
Right.
is to protect it or what have you. Those are
So
angels.
the spider. Yeah. Now that I'm looking at it,
Yeah,
it's
they're
angels that are
angels propping
holding.
up, propping it up or holding it. I guess if you could
Yeah, I mean,
say.
to your point, Sergio, like I grew up a Catholic, and I don't know, it's still creepy to me, bro. Like,
It is creepy.
oh, I wouldn't like. And in the picture with it, like, I wonder what happened to these people. There's just so many questions.
So just so you know, and if everybody's not familiar with Mary Magdalene, I was just gonna take a step back and kind of describe who she is. So Mary Magdalene, of course, is simply uh, a woman, according to the four canonical gospels, traveled with Jesus as one of of his followers and was a witness to his crucifixion and resurrection. She's mentioned by name 12 times in gospels, more than most of the apostles and more than any other woman in the gospels other than Jesus' family, meaning that she came from so Mary Magdalene came from a town called Magdala, a fish town on the western shore of the Sea of Galilee in Roman Judea. So that's who Mary Magdalene is. If you don't know who she is, now you do. Uh, and that's her skull, apparently. Um,
And then her hand
And her hand
and
and
her
her foot.
hand. Wow. Okay.
and foot. Yeah, I saw that one somewhere here. I don't know if this is. I think this is like a painting or something. Or
Is it
no, it's
casted?
not.
Is it casted over her actual foot, or is this just a?
I have no idea, but oh, here it
That's
is.
crazy. Okay.
Yeah, so that's another one there. Then we have the true cross,
Mm-hmm.
which is this one here, where the cross where Jesus died. I'm guessing this is part of the wood.
Right.
And then we
It's
have
crazy, man.
the lance of Longinus, which I think, Sergio, you said is the
Oh wait.
hand.
Whoa, what is this thing? It also pierced. Okay, I think I get it now. So the Holy Lance. So just to be sure, the Holy Lance.
Because this looks like the spear of destiny that we were. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, it is. It's one and the same. So it's either. It's also known as a lance of Logni. It's called the Holy Lance, Lance of Longinus, and Spear of Destiny. So
Okay.
to fact check myself, this isn't the weapon that was used to stab Jesus by Pontius Pilate. This is after the fact confirming that he was dead. That's what it is. It was used by a Roman soldier, Longinus, to pierce the side of Jesus Christ during his crucifixion. The act is said to have resulted in blood and water flowing from the wound, a significant event in Christian belief. Okay. That's
It's just so crazy how they've
So
been able to preserve
creepy.
all these things. But those are just a little list of what so many things are being held.
so to round out the night. To round out the night,
For real.
something that you
Gosh,
and
it's already
Ethan,
midnight.
I know, to round out the night that you and Ethan would love, as well as myself. Um, just little blurb, little tidbit to all this Vatican secrecy and dark secrets, and this is not a dark secret, but this is crazy fact. So the chief exorcist of the Vatican has performed 100,000 exorcisms. That is crazy.
Dang.
Although exorcism is believed to be the practice only seen in horror movies and is the Middle Ages, the practice continues to be alive in the Catholic Church. Father Gabriel Amorth is a late priest and served as the chief exorcist of the Vatican. He served for 60 years and is believed to have performed approximately 160,000 exorcisms. The exorcism rite, however, is not just limited to the late chief exorcist. It has been performed by various popes over the years. In 2018, BBC reported that the Vatican welcomed 250 priests from across the world to an annual workshop for exorcisms. Crazy.
Oh,
Crazy.
crazy.
Jesus.
This dude just walks in and does it at this point. Like,
He's like, I got it. Hey, hazte pa' allá. So, great. That was great, Osk. Great topic. Awesome. If we could open the door to the Vatican, I'm sure there'd be a lot of crazy things that we would witness, not only spiritual or paranormal, but in a physical form would be kind of shocking to see at the least. So thank you. Make sure. I don't know if we're going to continue the whole Vatican theme next episode. We'll see what's up. But yeah, great. That was great, Oscar. Thank you for the research you brought on here and everybody that contributed. So before we go today, we have a viewer submission. And this viewer submission is by Anon or anonymous person, which is fine. We said if you send in your stories, they could be anonymous. Doesn't matter. If you do want to send your story in, like I said in previous episodes, you can send them to Paranormal Dudes stories at gmail.com, or you could DM us. We can have a conversation, send us a voice note, or if you want to be on the show, we could work something out. Just let us know. So, as the story reads, Uh, one of my grandmother's stories, or Nana, in this sense. It was a hot summer day in 2002. I was home for the summer, just doing the usual, getting ready to head over to my grandma's house like I always do. I jumped in the shower, started doing my makeup, and then grabbed my blow dryer. I was in the middle of drying my hair when I suddenly heard it clear as day. Name. She was calling out the name. I froze. It sounded exactly like my Nana's voice. I turned off the blow dryer and called out, "¿Qué pasó, Grandma? Are you there?" And then I heard her again. "Are you here?" Asking the anonymous person. I turned toward the hallway and saw her, my Nana, walking away from the door. I set the blow dryer down and rushed to her to follow her. But when I stepped out, no one was there. Weird, right? I thought maybe she'd gone back home already, so I walked over to her house, but it was empty. I sat down in the living room, kind of confused. A few minutes later, I saw her pull into the driveway with her friends. I asked, "Where have you been?" She looked at me and said, "I was at lunch with my friends." And I said, You didn't go to my house?" She shook her head. "Mija, how could I? I just got home." To this day, I get chills every day I blow dry my hair. It's like I can still hear that voice calling my name the same way she did that day. And no matter how many times I try to explain it, I can't.
What?
That is wild. In the paranormal community, that is either a mimic or a jinn. Jinn is more physical, right? Ethan?
Yes, the mimic is more of a voice, or like it won't
Voice,
be a physical form.
like
Yeah.
audio. So in this
Yeah.
sense, it could have been a mimic that this anonymous person could have experienced. That's wild. What do you guys think?
Damn.
Osk, you had a crazy reaction. I saw your face
Dude, like,
after the reveal.
I would not sleep there. I would leave. I would. Dang, dude. I don't know. I would like invite a bunch of people over and say, "Hey, sleep over." Like, you know. Ah,
I sleep. Let's all get on to together.
yeah.
Those were my sleepovers. I'd have all my friends come over, and then I would tell them all the creepy stuff that would happen at my house, and they'd be like, "Why'd you invite me?"
What about you, Ethan?
What I would do? Because you
Yeah.
guys are cutting out. I was barely
Yes.
able to hear you guys.
Yeah, what would you do?
Well, for one, you know me, I would try to investigate it. I mean, I wouldn't.
Of course. What did you say?
I mean, what did you say?
That's why you're in the dark right now.
I know.
Hey, no. What's weird? Hold on. I want to see if you can see it. For some reason, there's a slit open now on the left hand side.
Well, open the other side so that your power can go back on.
I know. The little kill turned on again. Crazy story. Thank you for the story. Anonymous person.
Yeah, I'm not blowing my hair no more.
The blow dryer story. Okay. Like I said, if you have the story, please share it with us. We'd love to go over them. They're crazy. They're actually getting crazier as time goes on. But we are way over time because of the craziness that's happened. You probably saw the choppiness in the episode, and that's because Ethan lost power. Jesse believes that it was the entity that made that happen. I agree. Because Ethan closed the closet so the entity couldn't see the podcast. It was a wild episode. Super crazy. Thank you, Oscar, for that. And yeah, it's like I said, leave your story in the comments if you have any insight on the Vatican or know of anything, or you want to correct us a little bit. That's fine too. Leave it in the comments. We're never gonna say that we're experts in anything. We're experiencing the paranormal with you guys, and that's how we want to set up the show. Ethan's started by accident.
No, my phone started doing the weird thing right now.
He's got it. He's got it queued up.
No.
Don't press the skip ads
Automatic power on. The blow up doll started inflating.
Lucille, stop it! Not yet.
Oh my god.
What?
No, the Lucille
Oh,
stuff.
okay. So it was a great episode. We want to thank everybody for joining the show, watching, tuning in, listening, wherever it is that you're doing it, whether it be on a streaming platform or here on YouTube. We appreciate it. We will be back next week. Thursday sharp. We'll be back. We hope you enjoyed this video.
Yes.
And thank you. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Later, dudes.
Bye, everyone.